Are you feeling a lot of anxiety around eating and food choices after gastric sleeve, gastric bypass, duodenal switch, or even anti-obesity medications? This video is for you. My name is Steph Wagner. I am a dietitian at bariatricfoodcoach.com, and I talk about anxiety and food peace all the time, especially inside Premier Access membership, because it's very common that there's anxiety either related to how the food is going to impact body weight or how the food is going to fit and settle in your tummy. In this video, I want to talk about both of those kind of anxieties around food and what I tend to recommend for surgery patients to feel more peace and confidence in their food and in their journey. So first, let's talk about anxiety related to food choices and how it's going to impact body weight. So that might be like, I don't know if I'm eating too much. I don't know if I'm eating, not enough. I don't know if this food is good, if this food is bad. I don't know where to go. And that happens all the time. I get emails all the time that are like, I got a list of what food to eat for my program, but I need more help. I just don't know what to do. So anxiety around food and how it's going to impact your body weight is also kind of just wrapped up in anxiety of the process itself. If you're having anxiety just in general because you have struggled with your body weight, the majority of your life, and you've been on all sorts of different plans and programs, you've tried all these different ways, you've heard all these different approaches of what to eat, what not to eat, and it's getting really confusing, overwhelming. That's anxiety related to your past that's coming into your present moment. And then you might also have anxiety of how this is going to play out in the future. Am I going to lose as much weight as the doctor said I'm going to lose? So maybe your doctor is not holding a certain goal weight over you, but you heard him make a comment about a weight and now that's on your mind. Am I going to get to that weight by the time I see my doctor? Now we have anxiety related to the future. And both of those things are things we can't control. The past is just that. It happened. It's interesting, we can learn from it, or we can notice it, and we can reflect on it, but we can't do anything about it. The same is true about the future. Like, it's interesting, we can do what we can, but sometimes we have to identify what our controllables are and then let go of the rest. And that is why we talk a lot about mindfulness. And there's a previous video I talked about mindful eating, which I'll talk a little bit about in this video, but mindfulness in general is a really helpful practice in managing any anxieties. Mindfulness, meditation, and self-compassion. I'll link some books below that are great on this topic. Mindfulness is the act of bringing yourself into the present moment. And that can be really helpful when you've had this, rocky past with weight and body image, that when we can come into the present moment, you might notice the things around you. Even sensory wise, maybe your pants are bothering you and you're noticing like, oh, I would feel better about myself if I had more comfortable pants. I need to go buy some new pants so I can feel better. I think in this moment, that sensory experience is bothering me, right? Or maybe increasing peaceful surroundings. So you have calming music. Maybe you're meal planning in a more calming environment. If meal planning is stressful for you because, again, what is this the right food? Am I doing this right? How much should I be eating? Then it can really help to make a really enjoyable experience of planning your meals for the week. So maybe you clear off your table, you light a candle, you have some calming music, you open a window if it's a nice day, and maybe you have cookbooks or magazines that have food photos that can help you to enjoy that process rather than just feeling stressed about it. So mindfulness can also come in the way of deep breathing. Deep breathing is what engages our parasympathetic nervous system, helps you to be in a more rest and digest state instead of fight or flight. So anytime you start feeling anxiety related to the past diet history, or if you're going to make a certain goal weight, that feeds into the in the moment with food. So if we can bring you to a more state of calm, then you can better look at the food without those emotions as present and say, is this food a good idea? Is this going to fuel me well? Is it going to satisfy me? Does it look appealing? And pay more attention to the food in front of you instead of all those voices from the past and the future. So those are things more related related to kind of anxiety as a whole and anxiety on the journey. And it may be the right time for you to work with a mental health professional in this way. Mindfulness, self-compassion is really, really helpful for the mindset side of the journey of going through significant weight loss. So I will, again, have some resources below if you feel anxious in the way of food in the weight loss journey. But now let's shift over to anxiety related to the food itself. So if you're feeling anxious about how the food is going to settle, this might mean that you're eating really soft proteins at every meal because you're scared of eating more solid. Maybe you're eating the same things at every meal because it's safe. Maybe you're not eating at work because you don't want to risk getting sick and having to run to the bathroom in the middle of the day. Any sort of anxiety related to how the food is going to physically present itself. And I want to show you some compassion for that, because that is a really hard place to be, especially when you need to live your life and you need to keep going and you have this whole area of food anxiety that, you know, it can be hard to have time to address it. But I do want you to address it. And one of the ways you can do it is to practice mindful eating, which I covered in a previous episode. The reason why this is really helpful with food anxiety is not only because it helps you to, again, have a more calming environment when you meal plan or when you sit down to the meal itself, but also when you eat mindfully, you're eating small bites, you're eating at a slower pace, you're paying more attention to how it feels, how it's settling, maybe you're taking notes on how that meal is going, and that amount of mindfulness will therefore help you to tolerate the food better. So they kind of go hand in hand. Not only will you feel more at peace about navigating your food, but you'll also be tolerating the food because you're eating mindfully. So when you have small bites, you go slowly, you're more able to start eating more dense proteins because they'll fit more comfortably. But learning from each meal is really, really helpful. So I'm going to link a free resource on my Don't Jump to Conclusions placemat. It helps you to take notes and notice what's going on in your meals. But if you're having any food anxieties with how the food is fitting, reach out to your dietitian. If you don't have one, you can send me an email. I'll help get you connected. But both of those areas of anxiety related to how it's going to impact your body weight, anxiety related to how it's going to fit, I want you to find the right person to walk you through that so you can move forward with food peace and have a wonderful relationship with food. I know it's easier said than done, but that's why I spend so much time talking about food relationship inside Premier Access membership, and especially on this new course on food fundamentals. So if you feel like you need any more help or support in that way, definitely check out Premier Access. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.